Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Trucking with T-Bone for the second installment of T-Bone's Tips. In this episode, we're going to follow up on the auto inflate system that I had issues with. I got some more really good information. I thought I would pass it on to you guys. Okay guys, as you may have seen in my last video, I had an issue with my auto inflate system. In my case, it turned out to be a little thermal screw, and it has a piece of solder that if that wheel gets too hot, apparently that pops and blows air out. Wasn't sure the reason. Nobody had ever told me the reason, and I never knew about it. So I decided to do a little more research. Here's a quick article or interview about this ThermAlert system that is incorporated in the auto inflate system. Check this
Frank,
out.
ThermAlert is an interesting addition to your automatic tire inflation system. What is that, and why is that so popular?
Well, that is an onboard system that we have incorporated into our automatic tire inflation system to warn of high wheel end temperatures. And what happens in the trucking industry is sometimes they run low on their lubricant, whether it's oil or grease, or possibly the bearings wear out, and it creates a heat in the wheel end. And that can be very dangerous because it can actually have the tires catch on fire and cause a trailer fire. And you also have the real danger of it coming off and the tires flying down the road and going into an automobile or something else. And that has been known to happen.
So basically what he's saying is that little thermal plug that was blowing air into my hub and blowing stuff out, it was there to alert me that apparently the hub had gotten too hot, which I was replacing the wheel seals when we found this plug. So in essence, I got very lucky. Actually, I just posted a video a couple videos back about the driver in Ohio that lost a set of duals, and they wound up going through the cab of another truck and killing the driver. So very dangerous. Not all systems have this, I would imagine, but most, if they have auto inflate, they've probably got that in there. Here's a little more about that plug.
With our system, we developed a fuse in the wheel end that once it is to a specific temperature down there that is just about dangerous, the fuse will melt, allow air pressure to come out, just like we're inflating a tire. So the light comes on the vehicle, and the guy knows he has ThermAlert with tire inflation, so that light could mean a heat problem or a tire problem. So he pulls off the side of the road and walks outside. If it's a tire problem, it's very evident. If it's a heat problem, there's an audible signal because that air pressure forces its way through the hubcap, and we have it designed to it makes I call it an audible sound, audible sound. It's kind of like a banshee scream.
Oh.
So he knows exactly which one has got the hot wheel end, and he does not move the trailer because that could become an accident waiting to happen.
Okay, so the way this system's designed to work, you heard him just say, most of these trailers with the auto inflate system have a bright LED light on the corner of the trailer on the driver's side. If that light comes on, and a lot of times that light will come on when you first air up the trailer or first put air to the trailer, that's because it's airing the system up. But if that light stays on longer than, I think it's 10 or 15 minutes, it says so on the little placard next to it, or it should, that means there's an issue with the auto inflate, which I knew that already. However, I did not know about the thermal plug and that was there to alert you of a warm seal or a hot seal, a hot hub or axle. I found a couple examples of how this works, so I'm going to play them now. And also, he was talking about the way it squeals, and in this video you'll see that. Mine never did that. All you could hear was a little bit of air. Actually, you couldn't even hear the air. But come to think of it, I have heard that before, and I just assumed, I guess, that it was the tanks filling up because I could hear it all the way around. Don't worry, I've checked all my hubs, and that was the only one that's blowing air. But it sounded like the tanks filling, for the auto inflate and all that, because there is a tank back there. Here's an example. Check it out.
When the tire system indicator light is illuminated while driving, chances are that you have either a tire problem or a wheel end thermal event. To determine if you have a wheel end thermal event, the obvious sign is a hub exhibiting elevated temperatures. Also, because of how the ThermAlert feature works, it allows the pressurized air to escape from the axle and through the hubcap vent, which typically creates an audible sound.
Sorry about your ears there. I cut it off because it kept on making that noise. He goes on to say that if you have a wheel-in thermal event, do not move the tractor, and continued use could cause axle damage or the possibility of the wheels to catch on fire, thus the trailer catching on fire, which is no good for anybody. Stay parked, call roadside, do what you got to do. Now, with that being said, I'm going to give you one more example. This is a real-life example. And I know you've all heard it either at a chipper or a receiver or at a truck stop. You've heard that noise before. Here is an example of a truck going by that apparently has a wheel issue. Actually, it's two examples. The first example is the audible alert going on. I'm walking around to find it. The other example of him driving by. And as he drives by, I know you guys have heard this before because I have too. Again, I know you guys have heard that before. I've actually heard it as he was walking around. It reminded me of listening, thinking my tanks were airing up. So be proactive. Listen to each one of those T valves and make sure they're not leaking air, because that'll tell you something's going on with your hubs. Secondly, this is just some information I had found out after doing a little more research about that little thermal plug, and I was surprised that nobody had ever taught me that, or I'd never heard that before. I knew the indicator light meant there was something going on with the system. I did not know about that thermal plug. That's something new. And in this business, you're always learning something new every day. So hope this helps somebody out. Thanks for checking with T-Bone. This has been episode 2 of Tbones Tips. You guys take care, be safe, and we'll see you guys soon.